Hi Virgo, this is your ex-partner reading for April going into May. As usual, two rows, you on this side, X on this side, and cards at the centre. Also this month, I decided to add all four kings from each suit. So we have a King of Wands, King of Pentacles, King of Swords, King of Cups. And I've put a card with each king. Now over here, it doesn't matter if it's king, okay? Don't worry about the gender. It's more to do with the elements. I've put the kings over there. So mainly if you're in a relationship with one of those elements, okay? But if there's no relationship and it is solely about the ex-partner for you, then you can apply that message to that situation as well. So Virgo, when I shuffled for you, the card at the centre was the King of Wands. And I wanted to work out why we had the King of Wands at the centre. Was it that your ex is a fire energy, okay, Aries, Leo, Sag? Or is it that one of you, has the qualities maybe of a fire sign? The fire energy is very independent, it's very fiery, it's very passionate. If a King of Wands, or indeed even a Queen of Wands, walks into a room, people tend to notice them, they stand out. They are very attractive people, but not just their appearance. It can very much be the personality that tends to grab hold of other individuals. So I decided to put another card and shuffling, and I got the Knight of Wands. So we have more fire energy. So yeah, it could suggest you're dealing with a fire energy, but doesn't have to. But the Knight of Wands, so this knight comes charging in, and he comes charging in very quickly. The only downside to the Knight of Wands is he can go charging out just as quickly. Now, he gets a bad reputation. People always say he's a playboy. Me, as a fire sign myself, I tend to know that it's not about being a playboy or a playgirl. Fire signs, yes, they can get bored quickly. But the thing is, if the person is the right fit for them, is the right person, then a fire sign, especially for me, an Aries, would be the most loyal person you could ever wish to have a relationship with. And that goes for friendships as well. The thing is that we're not going to waste our time, and I mean that in the nicest possible way, but we won't waste our time staying in a relationship if we feel that relationship is not right for us or the other person. Because, for us, we are impatient, yes, but we're very forthright. So look, Knight of Wands. So it could be here to suggest that in the past, you or your ex were behaving in the way of the Knight of Wands, if you like, were kind of in and out. Maybe had commitment issues. You weren't, either one of you didn't like the terminology, if you like, of being in a relationship. And we're keeping it, I don't want to say friends with benefits, because that brings in the essence of the playboy again. But, I don't know how else to describe it, but weren't committed completely. And the Knight of Wands could be here to suggest that that was the energy of either one of you before. And now we see maybe an element of growing up, an element of becoming a bit wiser. And now we've jumped up to the King of Wands, who, is more wise, more mature. So it could be that is why we have the King and the Knight there. Virgo, please know that when I pause the reading, it's only so I can have a sip of water. So, Virgo, not surprised with you. We had the Nine of Swords. So, I don't know any Virgo that is never at some point in their own head, having some worry, concern, some thought that is nagging away at them. Yes, it makes things 1,000 times worse. Yes, you as a Virgo, you know that, but it's the way you are, and we can't change the way we are. So Virgos are overthinkers, and I had this conversation recently with my son, who is a Virgo, and I've never had this conversation with him before. But when I described to him some of the traits of a Virgo, to him as a Virgo, and every one of them, he said, yes, that is correct. You know, I do overthink. Yes, I am very much in my own head. And I, you know, as I said, I've never had that conversation with him before, but he completely agreed. So, you know, so not surprised, as I said, to see that. Now, on their side, they have the High Priestess. And I just done the reading for Leo, and strangely enough, these two cards did come out for Leo and their ex. But I can assure you, I do shuffle very well. So they've got the High Priestess, the Keeper of Secrets, needing to use one's intuition. Okay, so maybe they are the ones here that they need to listen to their gut feeling, to that nagging, you know, that little nagging voice, that intuition, because it may be that they feel that you are hiding something. Now, moving down, Page of Cups. So look, the first nice thing, two things I want to say about the Page of Cups. The nice thing is that it can be a message coming through. And it can be a message of something heartfelt, something to do with our feelings and emotions. So Virgo, that could be from you to your ex, or indeed you could receive a message from your ex. But the little negative thing with the Page of Cups is sometimes it can talk about somebody that is immature, somebody that struggles a little bit with commitment, with having a more mature relationship. It can sometimes suggest somebody that is has alcohol issues, okay? That somebody that can be very overly emotional, that is not able to control their emotions, hasn't learned to master their emotions, and that can be why sometimes they rely on alcohol. So, as I said, it can be one or two ways there with that Page of Cups. Again, you will know if alcohol is involved, be it on your side or your ex's side. Now, they have the Knight of Cups. So this knight comes charging in, again, with something heartfelt, an offering, feelings again, love, emotions. So definite opportunity here, Virgo, of communication taking place. We've got two knights and we've got a page. Now we're going to move down. So look, Virgo, you've got three cards here. We've got the Eight of Wands. You have the Empress. And you have the Three of Pentacles. Eight of Wands, a card of communication. It can be sometimes unexpected. Unexpected in the sense from an unexpected source, a person we didn't expect to hear from. Unexpected because of the content, what's being said we didn't expect to hear. unexpected, purely because we never thought that we would hear from this person again. It can often be communication from afar, from overseas, but not always. Again, it can be communication via text, you know, WhatsApp, social media, however you communicate. So as I said, definite communication. The Empress, a card of creating something new here. The Empress is a creator. She is Mother Nature. She is pregnant as well. So again, you know, is it that some of you are going to hear from your ex to say that they are pregnant? Or is pregnancy an issue? But if not to do with pregnancy, as I said, the Empress is the birth of something new here. Then we have the Three of Pentacles. Now, the Three of Pentacles, yes, in this card, we only see the tradesman, the craftsman, okay? But in the Rider-Waite, we also see a couple who are making plans and have given those plans to the craftsman for them to create. But the couple are on the same page, okay? So is it that it's to do with you two creating something new? You know, creating a new relationship. Maybe the communication lines are starting to open up now. And there's going to be talk here about a possibility of a reconciliation. Now, on your ex's side, they have the Six of Wands. They have the Seven of Wands. And they have the Five of Cups. So, Six of Wands, having been through conflict, okay, arguments, but coming out the other side victorious. It can also be a card of attention, wanting attention, but I don't feel that. I feel in this instance it's more to do with having gone through something that's been difficult and coming out the other side victorious. Then we have the Seven of Wands. So Seven of Wands, maintaining that higher ground, feeling that there's either competition or feeling that others are opposing us in some way, and the need to defend oneself or one's position. It could very well be for some of you that your ex-partner may decide to start to think about a reconciliation. And it may be that their friends or their family are against that, are advising them against it. It could be for some of you that you as the Virgo have a lot of other interest from other people. And your ex-partner knows that there is competition. But it could go the other way, that your ex has lots of admirers and other people interested, and you have competition. The Five of Cups being there, that's the only card that worries me a little bit, because the Five of Cups, it talks about focusing on emotional loss, something that's been lost, okay? But the thing with the Five of Cups is there's 3 cups spilt, and we've got the 2 cups behind. Now this man is only focusing on these 3 cups. The thing that comes to my mind here, and it's what came to my mind when I spoke about the Knight and the King of Wands, is that if we think about the Three of Cups as the card, the Three of Cups very much talks about friendships. And that card can often suggest that somebody decided that them and the other person are better as friends, and they decide not to invest any further in a personal relationship and decide to keep it platonic. And often when I look at the Five of Cups, because we have the Three Cups here, is it that this person actually regrets that and actually thinks they have that regret there and that remorse that they chose a friendship rather than something more? But what they don't realise is there's two cups there. And the Two of Cups, not always about personal relationships, but often is. The Two of Cups is suggesting that one of those cups is them and the other cup is you. And that there is the opportunity here to have a relationship, but they have to stop focusing on what's been lost and realise that the potential is there. So look, I'm going to leave that there. I'm not going to say any more about that. We're going to move up. We're going to move over to the Four Kings here. As I said, this can be if you're in a relationship, but if you're not, then you can apply it to the ex-partner. So, if you're in a relationship with the King of Wands or dealing in some way with the King of Wands, okay, fire energy, you have the Three of Pentacles. So this is a repeating card because we have the Three of Pentacles over here. And as I said about the couple, you have the couple here giving the plans to the craftsman. But this couple have made these plans together. So, if you're dealing with a fire energy and you're in a relationship with one of the fire signs, then it could be that you're making new plans together. It could be something simple as going on holiday, as renovating your home, building a home, moving in together, getting married, any number of plans, but it's a lovely card. Again, if it is ex-partner, then it could be making plans to meet up, okay? Meeting up and opening up the communication lines. If you're dealing with another earth sign, so another Virgo or a Capricorn or a Taurus, we have the Tower. Now, don't worry. People hate the Tower. But look, this tower would never have collapsed if it was built on good, strong foundations. And when the tower collapses, it gives us an opportunity to rebuild it. So if we're dealing with the collapse or the breaking down of a relationship, it's suggesting that there was something fundamentally wrong, that the foundations were not strong enough. And it may be that the two of you are better apart. But it may also be that you're going to have an opportunity here to rebuild the relationship. And the same message there would apply if you're dealing with the ex-partner. Now, if you're dealing with a King of Swords, so air energy, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, we have another repeating card. We have the Eight of Wands, which again we had over here. And as I said, the Eight of Wands is communication. So if you're in a relationship with an air sign, it could be unexpected words. It could be that you're in the early stages of a relationship and they now open up and tell you that they love you, that they're in love with you. It could be that you've been in a relationship for a while and you get a proposal out of the blue, unexpected communication asking you to marry them. Again, if it's ex-partner, unexpected communication. So a nice positive energy there. Lastly, if you're dealing with the King of Cups, water energy, Scorpio, Cancer, Pisces, you have the Ace of Pentacles. So the opportunity here of a new beginning. So look, if you're in a relationship with a water sign, it could be that either one of you are offered a new job that could very well include more money. It could be that you are both moving home, okay? You've decided to relocate somewhere else. If it's ex-partner, then again, there is an opportunity here to go down a new path together. The Pentacles is to do with our material world. It's practical, okay? So again, a nice positive energy there. So that is your reading, Virgo. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll be back soon. Thank you. Bye.